Last week's video was a little bit shorter than was originally intended, but I just didn't have time to do more. So this week we're going to try and make up for that. Tonight then we're going to be starting preparation for removing the bottom end. The bottom end is coming out and going down to Steve Walford so that we can have a proper built bottom end. We've got those Cosworth pistons going in, we'll be fitting some steel rods, uprated parts throughout so we can make some big Pinto power. We're also going to be starting to look at taking off the rear arches so we can fit the new shock absorbers on the rear of the car and hopefully sort out our rear suspension. So enough of the waffle, let's cut to the time lapse.
I ain't got no money for living, I ain't forgiving of what you've done. I ain't got no reason for thinking, I'm just doing what I've always done. I'm gonna shoot you until you're resting in the doorway, gonna knock you out. I'm gonna shoot you until you're resting in the doorway, gonna knock you out. We're gonna knock you out.
Okay, so that's all of the engine mount bolts out. Just got one starter bolt to undo. It's really difficult to get to with the bodywork on, so I'll do that tomorrow when I take the car out of the garage. So for the rest of tonight now, we're going to be moving on to the arches. So I'm going to start removing the rear arches so I can get in to do the rear suspension. That is my GoPro Hero 4 with a smashed lens. It just fell on the floor while I was doing a time lapse, and yeah, that might put an end to some of my time lapses for a while. I'll have to see if there's anything else I can do and see if I can somehow get this repaired or replaced. Okay, it's now Tuesday night. As you saw in my earlier clip, I broke my GoPro last night. I have a new lens here already though. Thank you Amazon Prime for getting that here so quickly. So I'm going to give that a quick go, trying to repair that just before I have my dinner, and then after dinner going to go out and get that engine out. Just fingers crossed the rain stops before then. Repaired the GoPro, learnt my lesson, got the protective case on it now, so good to go for some more time lapse. For living, I ain't forgiving of what you've done. I ain't got no reason for thinking, I'm just doing what I've always done. I'm gonna take you down. Engine's out, in the back of the X5, ready to go down to Steve Walford. That's me done for another evening. The rear arches are going to have to wait until the weekend when I can get the car back outside in daylight and see what I'm doing to be able to get those off to do the rear suspension. If we get out again another evening this week, then we'll be tackling some more front end bodywork. Last night, I was down at Steve Walford's again, dropping off the bottom end of the engine. So he's now got the complete engine. The head he's already started work on. The bottom end will be starting work on next week. As for tonight, I'm going to be going out doing a little bit of work on the car. I want to do some work on making sure the bodywork is correctly aligned at the front. You'll probably remember, I can't remember if it's earlier in this video or in the last video, I noticed that the bodywork is sitting wider on one side than it is on the other. So we're going to be correcting that. So just going to go out there, get that realigned so that at the weekend when we can push the car back out of the garage in daylight again, we can make some real progress on the bodywork. Excuse the mess and currently quite frankly ridiculous ride height. Obviously there's no engine at all in the car at the moment, so it is lifted up quite a lot, but as you can see the arches are now equal on each side. So the next step is going to be getting the rear section of these front arches correct, so they need to narrow down quite a lot at the back. So we'll show you on this side. So at the moment we've got this side panel coming from the arch, and there's two sections here where it's fouling. So first of all, just here on the silencer, so that needs cutting back quite a lot, and then this upper support
and the lower support just down there behind the silencer, they'll need adjusting as well. This gap across here at the moment is about 8 inches, and we're dropping that down to 4 or less inches, and putting a grill then in there. And obviously once you've done that, we can actually make the new top section. Back on the front, on the nose cone here, you can see we've got a little bit of a gap there. I had made a decision on what I was going to do with that bit. I like the shape of it, but I don't know whether I'm going to make more of a feature of that and having it as a vent, or whether I'm going to make a feature of it in the sense of my original plan of having sort of a bit of a bulge come back behind it. So we'll see. We'll get the fiberglass bit mocked up and go from there. So just back on this area of the front, one of the next things I need to do this side is make a splitter. Before I can do that though, I really need to sort out a bit of an issue here. So happy now with the fitment, as in how far the tyres are compared to the side of the arch. It's just a tiniest amount of tyre poke. What I'm not happy with is that. So at the moment, down at the front here, it's very close to the tyre, and this big gap that goes all the way around to the back. But the primary fix for that fitment issue is going to be bring the whole wing forward a little bit, try and even it out, and maybe drop the wing down a little bit as well, just to get a better look. But we'll see how we go on that. It might be that we can't bring the wing down too low, so we might have to just extend the side of the wing. That's not a huge issue. I'd got some ideas on things I wanted to do to the shape of these wings anyway, so that possibly will come to fruition just to make the fitment look right. So that's it for a very, very cold Friday night. Yes, I'm still in shorts, but it is absolutely freezing out here tonight, so I'm going to go in now, and we'll be back on this in the morning. Okay, it's Saturday morning, it's freezing cold. There was actually a frost on the ground and everything when I got up this morning. It's cleared up a bit now though, so it's getting warmer, and the sun's nice and warm. So getting the car out onto the drive so we can work on it and have some space, see what things are actually looking like.
I can hear your laughter coming waves across the shore. Oh, maybe you could fly my kite, babe. Maybe you could fly my kite, babe. I can hear your laughter coming waves across the shore. Oh, maybe you could fly my kite, babe. Maybe you could fly my kite, babe. We could be together, you're the one.
We've got the car out, and this is probably your first proper look at what the car is looking like with the new bodywork on. So the ride height is looking ridiculous. So the first thing I need to do is simulate there being an engine in there, so I can check what the ride height is like with the engine in. This isn't going to be glamorous. I'm really confused right now. I've just moved the bodywork forward an inch and the arch side is gone backwards an inch. Yeah, much better. Nice even arch gap all the way around, and just the tiniest amount of poke, which is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So we'll carry on now, finish this side so we can then take measurements off this side and make the other one match. Okay, so basically got this side sat how I want it. It's obviously going to sit a tiny bit lower once the engine's back in, which I think that will be enough. The tyre sits like that, so I've pulled this section out a little bit just to give it a bit of sort of bring it out to the tyre. I think my splitter's going to come around here a little bit as well, so that should sort that out. So yeah, that's how that's sitting. So my panel, obviously represented by that bit of cardboard, that should be okay. And then we need to just do something with that vent area at the back, so just tidy those edges up and grill it off. But I think it's working. So let me know what you think in the comments. I'm really liking it. It still needs a hell of a lot of work to get the look down to exactly how I want it, but the basic shape and stuff is there. I just realised that is sat really, really high. I've just had the car jacked up, so I'm guessing the spring's not gone back in right. Should we have a look? Yeah, you see the spring sat on the edge of the spring seat rather than in it. Let's sort that out and have another look at the car. There we go, that's better. It was sitting a little high. It still sits a little high, it always does, but that's to give me a bit of clearance at the back. So there you go. Yes, it is propped up at the front. It just needs now all the supports putting in, and then the bodywork will be on this side. It is now self-supporting at last. So, got the clearances that I wanted, so I'm really happy with how that's sat. And it's all self-supporting. You can ignore the little brass coloured tech screws that are holding the whole thing together. They're just temporary, just so I can get it all positioned up, make the support I need, etc. But yeah, needs a little bit more work in this area, so actually just okay, there we go. So you can see it's not quite sat right down here at the moment. It just needs a little bit more material taken away in that tight spot, and the whole thing will push back correctly. I'm really happy how the vent area is coming out. I need to get some honeycomb grill to put in there to sort that out properly, but yeah, it's gonna work. Put some trim around the metal edge, and then the honeycomb grill just slotted in the end there. That's going to give a really nice finished look. You can see there as well now how much the drive side bodywork has been moved forward compared to the passengers, so we're going to need to do the same on the passenger side. So I've been defeated by the cold. It is just cold and wet and miserable out there now, so I think that's me done for this week. Sorry there doesn't seem to be a lot of progress again this week. It's just I'm at that period of the build where it's going to take longer to do things, and so the big changes are going to take longer to get to. But hopefully you're enjoying what you're watching. Please leave a comment, let me know what you think of the car and of the videos. You know, I'm trying to get better each week with the editing and the production of them, so hopefully that's coming across from what you're watching. If you do enjoy them as well, remember, give them a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That way you'll get notifications when we release new videos. Also, we're on social media. We've got Facebook and Twitter and Car Throttle, so you know, be sure to check those out as well. So yeah, thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time.